Once upon a time, there was a land where magnificent creatures of decay and rot, ornate in spores and fungus, thrived in harmony in their own natural habitat. Long ago, this world was polluted with toxic waste, radioactive contaminants, and untreated sewage, and was rendered inhabitable to most life forms. But from the crucible of mutation and evolution sprung out the children of plague, in what could only be described as a miracle. It wasn't long, however, until wicked men came along with wicked intent and fire to purge the world of those that they don't agree with. What can be done against such reckless hate? This is a battle report for a game of OnePageRules, played using 1500 point lists adhering to force organisation. I use the Battle Brothers from Grimdark Future, while my opponent uses Rift Daemons of Plague from Age of Fantasy. Here is my list. The Master Veteran Brother is a one hero in this army. He is attached to a unit of Veteran Assault Brothers. They are all equipped with jump packs that give them ambush and flying. They are all armed with dual energy claws with no ranged weapons. Therefore, at full strength they get a total of 16 rending attacks that hit on 2+, due to them being war veterans. Furthermore, the hero is upgraded with War Chant, which means every hit roll of 6 not only gains AP 4 from rending, generates an additional hit with no AP. There is a unit of Pathfinders, all equipped with short-range shotguns. They are upgraded with Stealth and Scout, which should enable them to close in on the enemy and deliver their ranged attacks. We have a combined unit of Support Brothers, all equipped with Heavy Flamers. Being reliable weapons, they hit on a roll of 2+, and with Blast 3 and AP 1, they are suited to take out large crowds of light infantry. They will be placed in transport on board one of the 2 attack speeders, with open side upgrade. Furthermore, the attack speeder is placed in reserve for ambush, and therefore so will the Support Brothers. Similarly, there is a unit of Veteran Battle Brothers to be placed within the other attack speeder. The Battle Brothers are all armed with heavy fusion rifles. They are perfect for taking out tough units with multiple wounds like tanks or monsters, as their AP 4 attacks hit on 2+, dealing deadly 3 damage. For my opponent's list, the Plague Demons will be led by an Ascended Harbinger of Plague. It has a whopping tough 12 and some deadly melee attacks. Due to the demon ability, it could be deployed as either scout or in ambush. The second hero in the list is the Champion of Plague, who will be accompanied by a unit of 5 Plague Warriors. They are all equipped with melee weapons and benefit from regeneration due to the Champion's Blessing of Plague upgrade. Next, we have a combined unit of 10 Plague Furies. These demons can fly over any terrain and should prove to be a melee threat. There are 2 units of Plague Swarms. They are cheap units suitable for holding objectives. They have low quality and defense, but with tough 3 per model, they can soak up enemy attacks. We then have a unit of 3 Fly Riders. Despite the name, they don't actually fly, but instead have Strider, which allows them to pass through difficult terrain without penalty. They have a good number of melee attacks, but they are also the only unit in this list with shooting attacks. Finally, we have Piggy! A Plague Demon spawn. It is a monster with tough 6. With its mutations, when it attacks in melee, it could gain either rending or an additional AP. For the terrain setup, there are building ruins scattered across the battlefield. These are impassable terrain that block line of sight. No difficult or dangerous terrain pieces are featured in this battle. With a roll of 3 on a d3, 5 objective markers are placed. The Plague Demons win the roll-off for board edge selection and initiative, so they deploy first. Units from the Battle Brothers that are placed in reserve are the Master Veteran Brother, the Veteran Assault Brothers, the Veteran Battle Brothers aboard an attack speeder, and the Support Brothers aboard the second attack speeder. For the Plague Demons, the units in reserve are the Ascended Harbinger and the Fly Riders. The Pathfinders are deployed as scouts, and so are the 2 Plague Swarms. The Demon Spawn rushes towards Objective 4. The Pathfinders emerge from the cover of the building and take shots at the swarm on Objective 5. With some decent hit rolls, 7 shots hit and cause 6 wounds, removing 2 of the 3 models. The swarm fails its morale test and becomes shaken. The Furies move forward, flying over one of the buildings. They land just before the Pathfinders, but not within range to engage in melee. The Plague Champion leads the warriors toward the centre. The Plague Swarm on Objective 2 holds position, and the reduced swarm on Objective 5 becomes unshaken. At the end of the round, the Plague Demons take Objectives 2, 4 and 5. Objective 3 is contested, and Objective 1 is left vacant. At the start of the round, the 2 attack speeders arrive as reinforcements, while the demons in reserve remain undeployed this round. The Support Brothers disembark out of the speeder on the right and greet the Furies with a wall of fire. The Heavy Flamers hit 5 times out of 6, causing 15 hits that inflict 9 wounds. The Furies are reduced to just 1 model, and the last model fails its morale test and becomes shaken. The Plague Champion leads his warriors to charge at the Pathfinders. As the champion swings his poison hammer in a deadly arc, the wall of the nearby ruin is gruesomely decorated with the blood of 3 Pathfinders. The lesser minions finish off the remainder of the squad. On the left side, the Veteran Battle Brothers move out of their transport and fire their heavy fusion rifles at the demon spawn. The Veteran Marksmen find no trouble in hitting their target, and under multiple fusion beams, the Plague Demon is all too quickly transformed into a gory mist that quickly disperses in the air. The last Fury regains its resolve and becomes unshaken. Unable to get past the Support Brothers, the right speeder darts towards Objective 4, but doesn't quite reach it. The Plague Swarm on the right moves to block the gap between 2 buildings that lead to Objective 2. The other speeder drives into the Plague Warriors at full speed. The impact attack hits 3 times, but the warriors manage to brace themselves and they are unaffected. The fatigued champion and the warriors strike back, but their attacks only hit once and it harmlessly bounces off the armoured hull of the speeder. The remaining Plague Swarm holds position on Objective 5. At the end of the round, the Plague Demons now control Objective 3, but Objective 5 is contested. Yet again, Objective 1 remains uncaptured. The Master Veteran Brother and the Veteran Assault Brothers descend from the sky with their jump packs. The Ascended Harbinger and the Fly Riders emerge from the warp and materialise on the battlefield. The Support Brothers fall back to avoid getting charged by a Plague Harbinger, and unleash their heavy flamers upon the Plague Champion and his retinue. The 6 shots generate 18 hits, and the target takes 9 wounds, reducing the followers of the Plague and their champion to ashes. The Ascended Harbinger charges at the attack speeder in the centre. The towering giant punches the front hull, which causes the speeder's pilot to lose control and crash into the wall of the adjacent building. The demon then finishes it off by walking slowly over the wreckage, as if there was no malice in doing so, while crushing the battlecraft and its pilot regardless. The second speeder moves to screen off the Fly Riders. It fires its 2 heavy flamers and causes 4 wounds, removing one of the models. The remaining Fly Riders strafe to the side and fire venomous projectiles at the veterans with fusion rifles. One of the veterans falls victim as the corrosive burst seeps right through his armour, melting the flesh inside and dooming him to a rather painful demise. The remaining veterans move into position to target the Ascended Harbinger. The attack with their fusion rifles successfully deals 5 wounds after 1 wound is ignored by the Putrid save. The Lone Fury charges at the veterans in an attempt to protect the Harbinger, but the melee attacks miss. Fortunately, the Veteran Brothers' counterattack also proves to be ineffective, and the result of the combat is a draw. The Master Veteran and the Assault Brothers once again activate their jump packs, and they leap over the building to strike at the wounded Harbinger. Despite its size, the giant demon nimbly sways its body, flailing its arms side to side, and even with their mastery of swords, the veterans fail to land a decisive blow. Despite making 14 out of their 16 attacks, not one of them is on a hit roll of 6 to benefit from gaining AP4 or generating extra hits, and only 2 wounds are inflicted on the demon. In return, the demon swats away one of the veterans in the air with a giant backhand slap, and stomps another into the ground. The demon wins the combat due to it having a Fear 2 modifier. The battle-hardened veterans pass their morale test and remain eager to continue the fight. The swarm in the centre repositions to the left to contest Objective 4. The other swarm holds position. At the end of the round, the Plague Demons keep control of Objectives 2 and 3. Objective 4 is now contested, while both Objectives 1 and 5 are unoccupied. The Veteran Brothers with the fusion rifles move towards Objective 5 and into position to get clear shots at the Ascended Harbinger. They both hit the target and the Ascended Harbinger is taken down. The Fly Riders charge at the veterans and impale one of the Battle Brothers with their razor-sharp stings. The last veteran of the unit pulls out a knife and inflicts a wound to his enemy in retaliation. The combat is a draw. The attack speeder on Objective 4 rams into the Plague Swarm, inflicting 2 wounds. The swarm fails to hit back and is routed after failing its morale test. The other unit of Plague Swarm moves over to Objective 3, in the hope it would survive to contest it at the end of the round. Unfortunately, their hopes are dashed as the Support Brothers close in and incinerate them, leaving no survivors. The last Fury attempts to flee over to Objective 1, but the Veteran Master Brother and the remaining Assault Brother go after it, and they mercilessly cut it down as if they were using Damascus blades to cut through tofu. At the end of the game, the Battle Brothers finally take Objectives 1, 3 and 4. The Plague Demons keep Objective 2, and Objective 5 is contested, resulting in a 3-1 victory for the Battle Brothers. I was obviously quite pleased at how that went. Almost all the units in my army fulfilled their intended roles. The Pathfinders did their damage in the first round. The Support Brothers took out the bulk of the infantry and swarms. And the Veteran Brothers with the fusion rifles laid waste to the 2 tough units, including the Ascended Harbinger. I was a little let down by the Assault Brothers, given their rending weapons and the Master's War Chant upgrade. Not rolling any 6s in their 16 attacks was a bit disappointing. Nonetheless, they survived the Harbinger's counterattack and managed to finish off the Fury, so that's still worth something. As for the demons, I think they would have easily won had we played the game using progressive scoring, where victory points are accumulated at the end of each round for the number of objectives controlled, not just at the end of the game. The demons had control of the majority of the objectives throughout the game, and only lost them at the final round. Maybe we'll give it a go next time. Anyway, another fun game played.